Hi, hello. This is Unisharks again. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Today, I am the host, me, Lemon, joined by our other co-hosts, Hammer and Mako.
Hi.
Hello.
Yep. So today we'll be talking about some recent events within internet, like gaming history, or not news, I guess. Not necessarily history, but news in general. So kind of a little bit different from what we normally talk about, but kind of interesting. Want to talk about it. So yeah, I guess we'll start off with your topic, Mako. Since we're kind of starting off with the video game theme, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, mine was about this recent movement that's been making some waves in the news, depending on what news you pay attention to. It was about a movement called Stop Killing Games. So, and the idea is that these people want studios to stop abandoning games. Like, simple as that, really, because, you'll have games that after a while you just can't really play anymore because they stop supporting them. So, I mean, as an example, EA is shutting down the servers for Anthem, so people who played that can't really play it anymore. And I guess a little less controversial, but another example would be Nintendo will sometimes out of nowhere say, hey, we're re-releasing this beloved game, but only for a limited time. So like with the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection.
That's a fun, good collection.
Yeah, and of course now they're adding them to their online service, so it's like, oh, if you subscribe, it's like, well, if you'd sell it.
Yeah.
But I mean, kind of the argument is that, we pay for these games, we love them, we want to enjoy them as long as we can, but we can't if they're going to start shutting down servers. So for me personally, like a game I loved was Disney Infinity, but it wasn't doing the numbers that Disney needed, so they shut down the servers. So now you can't like download people's creations or upload your own. It's just, well, it's dead. Now, on the other side, these companies, notably a lot of big ones, Microsoft, Ubisoft, EA, the usual suspects, the people you expect to oppose it, are opposed to it. And, they say, well, it's just not financially viable. Like, it would cost money to maintain these servers. They wouldn't give enough of a return to justify it. So Ubisoft, who's like, they can't go more than a year without shooting themselves in the foot. One of the representatives came out and said, like, it's just not realistic. We can't afford it. And it's like, yeah, you can. You're just saying you can't. You're just saying it's not making a big enough return to justify it. So, and that's kind of where the controversy is. So for my part, I don't like the immediate notion that every big company is evil and money grubbing. I think business is more complex than that. So, the fact is, the point of a business is to make as much money as possible. So I can see why they don't want to do that. But at the same time, like I said, there are games that I would love to play that aren't available anymore. And of course, I don't know how much it costs to maintain servers and keep these games going. But if it's possible to do it, I think it ought to be done. And sorry, let me add a little more information. The thing with these servers and these games is that a lot of them have enough fans that are willing to pay to maintain their own servers, and that has happened with some games where the company says, we're shutting it down, and the fans say, no, like, hand it over to us, and they do that, and the fans maintain it just out of love. But there are other studios that are like, no, and just shut it down. And in those cases, I'm like, what the heck's wrong with you? Like at this point, people are actually begging you to let them pay to keep the game going, and you're just like, no. So it's a little more complex than it initially seems. So, I mean, what do you guys think?
So there is a couple thoughts, or because I'm trying to see it from both sides. Because a lot of the older games, I think it'd be really fun to play. Like one that I I think of that I didn't really get to play when I was younger because I didn't really have it, and then when I like knew about it, it was just you can't access it anymore, like you were saying. Um, well, I actually did get to play it like once or twice, but it was Fantasy Star Online, and that was for the original Xbox. And I I don't remember too much about it. I just remember it was online, and I had a lot of fun when I was younger. And I'm pretty sure you could play with a group of friends, like maybe up to four or something, and kind of like a RPG fantasy type game. You had like a hub and all that, and I think there's some trading and all that.
Huh.
But with that one, I actually I'm okay, and I understand why they didn't keep it anymore, because that was the original Xbox, the older consoles. They just moved on to the newer consoles. They moved to do systems. It was something that is just going to be left behind,
Yeah.
and that's why it was kind of bittersweet. I think it was 2000, was it 22 that they finally shut down stuff for the 3DS.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's like the 3DS still felt new to me in a way, even though it came out like in 2012, uh, 2013 or something like that. Because I remember pre-ordering my 3DS back then.
Oh
And
yeah.
so, they're coming out with the Switch 2 now, and it just kind of makes sense that they're just not going to keep them up because they're shifting over.
Yeah.
It's harder these days now because we can have everything online compared to before, and it's a lot easier to keep things. You're not shifting to different systems all the time. You're upgrading systems, but like the internet, unless someone deletes the thing themselves, it's not going to go away, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, a good example of this happening until they decided actually they could still make money off of it was Diablo 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It had a huge PvP, huge modding, huge just player base. Today it still does. And um, they Blizzard stopped doing it, but you could still find private servers that they actually, I don't know if they handed it over to them or not, but you could find private servers to play with other people all the time. You never wanted to if you're first starting up and you don't know how to mod because you just get destroyed. But beside the point, they it's an example of a game that stayed, and now they actually are keeping it because they remastered it, and then they added more Diablo games that get still going.
Yeah, like they just had the original back.
Exactly. And another good example, I would say that it took a while. They did get rid of it, but it is back in a way. It was the Master Chief Collection, where
Yeah.
you could play the Halo 3, Halo 2, Halo Reach online. And you still really can't. It's not the exact same, but you can do the multiplayer still on those with that. And it has it on the Xbox. It has it on Steam, It has it on. I think he said Mako was going to be on PlayStation something one of these days.
Yeah, it could be.
And so yes, they definitely have the means to, and they would just have to do like a subscription type thing. And a lot of people that I was reading about were saying, you don't have to put out any more DLC. You don't have to do all this. You don't have to like maintain it, do any more updates. Like just leave it as is, and we'll play it as is.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the biggest points that people are arguing for. And there's prime examples on both sides. But it's kind of harder in today's world to say, it's not viable to keep it because the data is still around.
Yeah.
They could just sell it if they want to in a way. But another part, hopefully I'm not stealing someone's what they wanted to share, but crap, what was his name? The guy that keeps saying something pirate. I can't think of his name.
Software.
Yeah, pirate software, yeah. It's such a not unique name that it is unique. That makes sense. It's like someone taking their name. My name is oh gosh, I can't even think of something right now. Like a refrigerator. It's an already made thing, but I'm just gonna take it for my name. Anyways, whatever. Okay. He is super against it because a lot of people don't like him. It boosted the
Oh.
numbers in the petition to stop killing games. It went from like 14,000 to like 80,000 because he was complaining about it. It was just kind of funny, the backlash on that. But those are kind of my thoughts about it. I want to try to see it from both sides, but I'm at the end of the day, I want to keep servers up if possible.
Yeah.
It look if they could share more information about the server. For example, if 50,000 people are still playing the game, there's a reason. Okay, well, shut down a lot of the servers that you had when you had 200,000 people playing, so you don't have to maintain all of them,
Yeah.
and just keep up the minimum, and then you could always bring it back if you felt like it. Find the numbers first before really deciding. It's like, okay, we're going to do this, but we have to have a compromise. Is like, if there's only 200 people playing, that isn't viable. If there's thousands of people playing still and it's just old, there's an actual reason to keep it.
Yeah. Well, and I see what you mean, and actually, while we were talking, I was thinking about some other examples. You and I, Hammerhead, loved playing on Battlefield 1.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, and like you can still find games today, but it just hit me like, what if EA suddenly shut down the servers and said no more? And I'd be like, well, what the crap? I still enjoyed playing that every now and then. So, and then on the flip side, I think an example of a game being turned over to the players and it working really well would be Left 4 Dead.
Well,
Yeah,
Left 4 Dead
because
2.
yeah, because like I don't know if Left 4 Dead is even still being updated, but it doesn't really matter because it's just in the hands of the fans now. Like, it just has so much staying power because people modify it. If there's any bugs, they would patch it out. Like, even nowadays when they come out with new games trying to kind of capture that magic, like Back for Blood, it's like, no, it just can't really match it because of how much the community is invested in it by this point. I mean, I think last time we played it, I dressed up as Samus Aran. And
You
like,
did?
or I think I downloaded the mod because
Okay, that makes more sense because I thought you dressed up in real life or something.
I know, right? I was like, why aren't you streaming that?
that'd be crazy. That'd be a cool well, I mean, I don't really do cosplay, but that could be a cool one to see. But I mean, yeah, and then like I'll have the Star Wars mods on, so I'm fighting stormtroopers with lightsabers, and yeah, it's just you can change it into whatever game you want, really.
Yeah, no, we did K-On! As a group though.
Yeah, I just didn't want to say it out loud.
Manning up, manning up.
Man up. Yeah, we played as an anime band.
Yeah, anime girls. So yeah, man it up. Okay,
Yeah. So, but that was actually pretty fun, just because like even the concert stage they switch it out with music from the show.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be going away. Well, some of that wasn't even available in the first place, especially where they have a bunch of DLC or um, like a loot box system. Yeah,
Yeah.
if people mod that, because there's easy mods that you can get to just like you have unlimited wishes or unlimited polls, and you get everything unlimited money, and then it doesn't work for those systems. But yeah, like those type of games that you mod and everything, it keeps it alive. That's why Skyrim stays alive. Even well, that's a different game, um,
Yeah.
but that's why it's still popular. Have that ability. But as a side note, in the last 24 hours, there's still like 34,000 people playing Left 4 Dead 2.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Absolutely insane, and that's like consistent. Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tricky. I think it's kind of unrealistic for all companies to completely like leave their servers running indefinitely. But I think part of that, I might be misrepresenting this a little bit, or might need to do more research on it. But I think part of the Stop Killing Games mentions like how giving like the rights to players to create their own servers type of thing, where like, yeah, it's not profitable enough to play anymore, but you guys bought the product so you guys could be able to still use it. So
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and create your own servers and still play it. So I think in that, I think the thinking about it that way is like rather than companies having to maintain servers for indefinitely or keeping their games available indefinitely, I think it's more about you bought the game, you should be allowed to play it as long as you want, or be able to do what you want with it, type of thing. So I think thinking about it in that perspective makes it more sense to me. But that's a little tricky. But I definitely think if you buy a game and it's like an online game, you should be able to have the rights to create your own server and stuff like that to keep playing it. But yeah, but going back to pirate software, I thought it was pretty funny. Like you said, like how he's trying to damage the movement and end up giving it like twice as much like steam. They almost saved it trying to kill it. So I thought it was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
No,
I'll say this.
Ubisoft has such a trashed reputation by this point that honestly, like anything they say, people will do the opposite.
Sense. But yeah, I remember this the streamer dude, Pirate Software Thor. It was kind of funny. He popped off, I think, like a year ago. Like he started showing up in all these like YouTube reels or YouTube shorts, and
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
this feeling. Like I liked most of his content. He seemed like a pretty wholesome dude, and like it was fun watching like his shorts and all that. He seemed pretty smart. But I had this feeling in the back of my head when it first popped off. I'm like, this guy's too wholesome and too nice. Something's gonna happen. He's gonna get canceled for it. I know it. And this last like few months, all I can see in my YouTube feed are pictures of him of people slandering or not slandering him, but just like roasting him. I think it's hilarious. But,
Yeah, yeah. When I first saw a few of his videos, I was like, oh, this seems like an interesting character. Very opinionated, but uh, people change.
Yeah. except Markiplier.
Anyways, I think that's all I have to say about the Stop Killing Games movement. Do you guys have anything else before we move on?
So you actually remind me of another game. I don't know if you guys have, well, obviously you guys know Lord of the Rings, but the game
Yeah.
that came out in, how was it, 2009? War in the North.
Oh yeah.
2011, that's when it came out. And like that is a game that it was on Steam and now it's not anymore. And which makes it tough because you can play it's as a group of three, you can play like a dwarf, a ranger, or an elf. And it's kind of those three classes, like the melee with range, then the melee and like magic. That would be really fun to play with us three, but they don't have it up anymore. And I was just checking it out while you're talking. I guess if you own it, they'll let the people that own it play together, but you can't otherwise. It's like, well, why? I don't know. They could still sell the game without having it to be online, but
Yeah.
what can you do? All right, but that was everything for me.
Yeah, that's everything for me.
Oh man, that sounds like a fun game. But anyways, we'll have to live out our Lord of the Rings fantasies in another way another day. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Mako. We'll go over to yours, Mr. Hammer, with your topic next.
Okay, yeah, sure. So my topic is another controversy, I guess you could say, that's happening. I can't think of the full name. Let me pull it up right now. Okay, that's what it is. It's the collective shout and the MasterCard, Visa card problem, I would say, that's happening right now. It's an interesting one because I do agree with a bit of what's happening, but I don't like all the power that is being influenced, I guess you could say. So the collective shout, and everyone can double check and look up themselves as well. But what I remember is the collective shout is a group of people in Australia, I think is where it originated from, that is against the hypersexualization and mistreatment, or I guess the easiest way to put it, specifically of more female characters in media. And they have done some good, in my opinion, because like on Steam, for example, and other platforms, there were literal games where you would play as a rapist. And so those type of games and media, I think, is perfectly fine to get rid of because it's that type of situation of like ruining innocence, taking people's uh, choice away type situation. And it's obviously it's a bad topic, you know. Um, and it's nothing ever that you want to see in real life, is what I'm saying. Obviously, you don't want to see like Grand Theft Auto or Halo in real life because that would suck. But
Yeah.
but the problem now is that they're just trying to get rid of anything that in their eyes is bad. And they're not. They're like it's hard to say like they're overstepping their boundaries in a way. I guess they're like pulling a Palpatine where they want all control and all power, and they're try to they take down what they don't agree with, and if they don't like what you say, they take you away, type deal. And it's so weird because this is like only a 30,000 person group, and they're having power over like MasterCard and Visa, so where they are using them as leverage for these websites such as Steam, another one's called itch.io, that if they don't agree with it, they won't let people purchase through MasterCard or Visa. I know at least I'm sure Visa is one of them. I can't remember if MasterCard is. And so these people aren't able to even buy them um, because the card companies aren't letting you because they don't like it. And they tried taking we've already discussed this just a tiny bit, but Detroit Become Human. They want to take that away because there's you've played it, Lemon. You remember there's a scene in there. I don't know the specifics. Maybe you can explain it in a second. And then they want to take like Grand Theft Auto because like the strip club. But they also want to take down like story games that aren't adult oriented, but they deal with like abuse and actual things that like they're supposed to help people, but because they talk about the topic, we can't let you play them or buy them. And then obviously they're going after adult games, but a lot of the adult games are with adults. They're not involving children. It's always like consensual stuff, and so it's like not rape or sexual assaults or anything like that. It's like romance. It's like dating sims, but adult. So it's like they want to get rid of people's, I guess, agency in a way of purchasing, and they're doing it through these big card companies, which is outrageous of restricting millions of people because 30,000 people don't agree with you. They're being peer pressured in a way. But that's why it's such a touchy topic, because it's like, well, don't you want to get rid of these games? Yes, but there's also you have to have you need to explain your limits of what you're planning to get rid of, and do we agree with it and all that. It's weird, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What do you think about that topic of censorship? Should they be getting rid of these things? What's your limit? Like I'm okay with them getting rid of these, but not this, or they shouldn't be touching it at all, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you said before, like the ones that involve rape, like yeah, like get rid of those. But it's kind of I don't like the idea of like some a group of people in Australia being like, oh, you can't play that because I don't like it, type of thing. It's like it makes me uncomfortable, so therefore you can't do it. And it's like who are you to tell me like what I can play and not, or like what media I can or consume, And and to go along with the Detroit Become Human, it wasn't the first time that game has become attacked by some other group. There's like you play as like a female robot that is basically a maid in a household, and then the dad basically abuses and like kind of mistreats um, this android, which is designed to look like a woman. So it's like, and it's very like triggering, I guess, and for some people because it's unlike Grand Theft Auto and a lot of these other hyper violence games. It's like super, it's like yeah, it's whatever, but this one kind of hits closer to home because it's like domestic violence versus like just crazy violence. I'm not sure that's a good way to put it, but yeah, apparently some group in Britain didn't like that there's domestic violence in a game like that and thought it should be banned. And it's like one person brought up a point that was like, if you're gonna ban video games, like why don't you ban all media that portrays that? Like there's plenty of movies out there that are like definitely push the boundaries. Like why aren't you going after those? And I find it kind of silly. It's like if you're gonna try to censor everything, like why I don't know why you're targeting games specifically. It's like there's so much other media that you can't really reach. But I don't know. Yeah, for me personally, I don't like it. I think it's kind of annoying that another group of people try to like censor what I want to consume. But then again, like some of the stuff they're banning, I guess should be already banned in a way. But I don't know. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Miko?
I think all three of us agree that, like, yeah, get rid of games that try to put rape in any kind of positive light. But when you take it to the point that you're just trying to censor everything, then it becomes more of an issue. And I mean, I don't think they should have any control over any card company at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's one thing to get Steam to remove these games. That's fine. But then getting to the point where you're like strong arming card companies into denying their customers the right to buy something, that's too far.
I think also
So,
too, like, with Steam, like anyone can make a game and put it up there and like to be sold, and like in a way you're almost like limiting people's creative outlets. It's like whether places can you go to like sell your game, that you're making on your own, like, but who knows? I wonder. Part of me wonders if Steam or all these other places will just create their own like gift card or kind of like wallet where you can just transfer money into the wallet, then the wallet could be used to buy stuff, so it's not using Visa or MasterCard directly. But who knows what will happen?
yeah.
It's also silly because, and this is it's been a minute since I've read up on it. But like they're not going after like OnlyFans. If that makes any
I
sense.
know, right? It's like if all the stuff to target, like why not? Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, it's tough because I feel like there should be some sort of regulation. Um, Steam through this shouldn't let the cards, these companies push them to do that. But they should take from it. It's like, okay, we're still going to do this, but we're not going to be including these quote unquote genres, I guess you could say, pedophilia, rape, um, those type of situations, and it just have people at Steam go through the game, and if they find that type of thing, what's the situation? Like Detroit Become Human, like you're explaining, that doesn't sound like it's glorifying that scene. It's supposed to make you feel awkward. It's supposed to make you make a judgment, like case out of what's happening, and you decide how to react. It's not like, well, we're going to do this for fun. That is more beneficial in a way, I guess, as a whole for a player base than these other games that have been removed.
Yeah, and to add something to that, it's something I've mentioned before. There was an episode of Pokemon that I saw when I was a kid that had a big impact on me. So it was the one when Charmander was introduced, and the whole plot line was Charmander gets abandoned in the woods by his owner for being weak, and they make it clear that when it starts raining, and they make it clear Charmander can die. So, and like as a kid, it made me decide that I was never going to mistreat somebody, or, especially an animal, for being weaker than me. So, like, if nowadays they said, well, that's too dark, we can't have that, and then they censored it out, that lesson wouldn't have reached me as impactfully. So it's like, kind of just with everything, it's like, just don't be stupid. Do it on a case by case basis.
Yeah. Yeah. So if anything, maybe have more regulation of what is out there, but you, like you said, case by case. Not everything is just like you just see one tiny clip. You can take a lot of things out of context and make it look
Yeah.
bad. So, but I'm pretty sure it will change because usually gamers don't like taking crap. They don't like getting pushed around when it comes to this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I know there's already been tens of thousands of emails and calls being sent to these companies.
Yeah.
Because I guess that was the tactic that Collective Shout used, is they did like a few thousand calls, bugging them and complaining all the time, and that's why they did. That's why they're in this situation, and so now it's just kind of like tenfold on the reverse. It's like you don't do this. Like we're perfectly fine switching cards if we want to.
Yeah.
But okay. Any other thoughts? Or that was it for me. I'm not in charge.
Any thoughts from you, Mako?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll go to the last topic, which is brought to you by me, the lemon. The lemon's about to bring the tea. So yeah. I want to talk about Tea, the app. I haven't done too much research into it, but the limited knowledge I've been exposed to is that the Tea app is an app for women only, and it's an app for women to share red flags or share like stuff about men that they don't like. And apparently, it's been causing quite a controversy or quite a thing. Like I said, I haven't done too much research into it. I just seen a couple skits on it from online about it. So, but I don't know. Just my first thought about it, my first initial thoughts are kind of like, well, it's kind of hypocritical, but also at the same time, I don't know. It's kind of funny to me because I feel like if you know a girl that has that type of app, it's a red flag for her. So it's like
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know, it kind of hurts in a way, but I don't know. It feels kind of weird. There's an app specifically for this. I feel like you don't really need an app just for this specifically. You just go on Reddit and go on like create like group chats with your girlfriends and talk about stuff like that, or create like a channel on Discord. I feel like there's already places out there that people can do this. Like, why do you need a specific app to do it? But anyways, what are you guys' thoughts on it, and what information about it do you have that I don't?
Yeah. So I hear everything that you shared. I also read that originally it was supposed to be used to warn about like creepy people. I don't really know specifics about the app because I only found out about it because of everything that's happening as well. But it was supposed to like protect each other. It was like, yeah, don't date this person because they like tried
They're
spiking my
creep.
drink or something. Yeah, or they're just really bad creep. And then it just really blew out of proportion of all these people just complaining and making fun of and just putting a bad light on people in like the dating pool or just people in general. And that it turned out it just was a lot of people that were really salty that they got rejected. And so they started making fun of people. And so there actually can be some guys in there, and the only reason well, they might be trans. I don't know. I don't know. But was it yesterday or earlier today? Saw a video of. Okay, let me a little more information. All the app users' information got leaked,
Oh,
Yeah.
so they
oh shoot.
they know where every single person that uses the app lives because it was essentially a public database. It wasn't like a private system that protected that information. It was very badly made. And so all this information got found out. They found all these pictures of all these people. And the best way to describe them, and to be honest, me as well, is chopped. They're not all attractive people. And so that's another problem that everyone's getting bashed on. And so there's like a ranking system. People
Okay.
have like a poll. I was like, it's very bad, but it's pretty funny because like the one guys that are actually on it for some reason are like at the top for no reason. They just are.
What?
And yeah, so it's just weird. Um, but yeah, that's what I've seen, and it's just kind of a situation that shouldn't have happened in the first place. But it's kind of becoming funny out of it. I don't know. How about you, Mako? What have you heard or seen?
Like there are parts of it that seem funny. Like, because immediately you kind of want to laugh at all these snotty, self-absorbed women getting their comeuppance. But nobody deserves to be doxxed.
No, they don't.
Yeah, and I mean, it sounds like it did have really good intentions. Like you said, it was meant to warn women about, men that were,
And women.
oh yeah, well, about, dates that were potentially, dangerous even.
Mm-hmm.
But then it blowing up into like this ridiculous rating system where they're just saying casually, you shouldn't date this guy. He has a cat. It's like, like, what are you talking about? That's stupid.
Are you saying that because you have a cat?
Nah, I'm saying that because my sister watched a documentary about pets, and this guy said, for some reason, women don't want to date guys with cats. So I made my own dating app.
Silly. Okay.
Yeah. And it actually worked. I mean, he found a girlfriend through it.
Well, good on him. Good on him.
There you
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, great for him. I think it's bizarre any girl would be turned off by that because it's just a cat. What does that have to do with anything?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, it's just irritating all around. It just sucks because the app wasn't meant to be used for judging and tearing people down. It was meant to keep women safe. And maybe that's why they didn't have good security and why they were so easily hacked. And I think I read that there are actually guys like using that information to harass some of the women. So it's just a sucky situation all around, even though it does sound funny at first glance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like they the users brought it to themselves when they what's I can't think of the right word, but like corrupted the purpose of the product, the original product.
Yeah,
And so because they ruined it, they ruined it for the people that actually could have used it for good.
yeah.
They spilt
go.
the
Yeah.
tea.
Oh, it's
Tea
just one
got
of those
spilled.
like,
Go ahead.
Well, Lemon,
oh, go ahead.
Now you go ahead. I was just gonna, yeah. Go ahead, make up.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's one of those examples where like a few stupid people ruin it for everyone.
mm-hmm.
Tea. Tea's no bueno. But yeah, I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't realize the whole thing got doxxed and all the information is put out, that's kind of messed up. But yeah, and it seems kind of like you said before, like the original purpose was corrupted and is meant to like be kind of like a warning sign for women to like watch out for predators or watch out for creepy guys type of thing or creepy women. Um, yeah, I also kind of wonder if that kind of, I don't know, I shouldn't, sounds kind of terrible to say, but it doesn't surprise me that it kind of devolved in that way because of course people are going to take it the wrong way and just use it for ways to resort or to roast dudes that they don't like or roast people that rejected them or type of thing, because like there's no way to verify if the stuff they say on there is true, like you don't know if anyone just, some girl just doesn't like you and decides to like gossip and tell lies about you, so I feel like this kind of just destined to like fall apart from the start just because of the human condition, but I don't know, it's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a sad way to look at it, I guess, but
Yeah.
Yeah, don't dox people if you can't help it, unless they're okay. We've already covered that topic.
On what Lemon said about like people using it to lie, that does kind of scare me because I did have one experience with a girl who started spreading rumors and lies about me. And like, imagine if she'd had an app where she could have broadcast that further.
Is that in college?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, it's happening over there. Okay. Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure though there's already other systems set up for that. It'd be smarter if it was more local type things. But I don't know. Really quick though, maybe you guys would know. So like, say someone's convicted and police is looking for them. If you know they're on information and you share it, is that technically doxing? Is that doxing? Or is doxing that's with the intent to um, bring harm one way or another towards the person online?
Oh, yeah. Like, I think, speaking as a peace officer, I, I think doxing is when you reveal someone's location and personal information with malicious intent.
Oh, okay.
And then reporting a criminal is just your civic duty.
Yeah, that's just reporting. Okay. Cool.
that makes sense. Well, cool. Well, if nothing else, do you guys have anything else to add or?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Be
Cool.
kind.
Be nice to each other. But anyways, well, thank you all for listening to our podcast and sticking around to the end. Hope it was enjoyable for you as it was enjoyable for us to record it and talk about it. We'll let you guys go now, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.